Welcome, everyone. This is Coffee with a Journalist. I'm Beck Bamberger. I'm a publicist. I run a PR shop. We need to understand how best to work with our freelancers, editors, reporters, journalists, etc., in order for all of us to do our jobs. So this is why we do this show, to understand a little bit more about what journalists need and what editors need and so forth, and how not to annoy them, frankly, as publicists. So with us today, apparently, word on the street is you're the most viewed journalist on Muckrack, Aly.
Apparently.
Apparently. I gotta fact check that one, but I love it. Is Aly Walansky. She is a freelance journalist, writer. She's a Forbes contributor. She writes for Yahoo, to Travel and Leisure, etc., many other outlets. And I'm happy to have you here, Aly, today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Aly, you've been doing the freelance thing for a while. How are you? Yeah, more than a while. 15 plus years, let's just say. What do you love about it? How about that? Because I don't usually ask people about that.
I love the freedom of it all, that if there's a story I'm dying to tell, I could pitch it. I feel like it's, in a way, I'm constantly going to school, but not boring school, fun school, because I'm learning about the things I'm interested in.
Yes, fun school. I like that. Okay, good. What would you say you're learning about right now that you're like, oh, this is particularly fun? It's summer right now while we're filming this, so I didn't know if maybe you had something like right now where you're like, oh, this
well,
is
right now, National Caviar Day is coming up, so I'm spending a lot of time researching caviar, checking out inventive uses of caviar, which absolutely makes my rather doldrum, hot, steamy July afternoon feel a lot better, personally.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, I'm learning how to be like a little bit more fabulous than I actually am.
Wonderful. Well, that's the best. That's the best.
Yeah, I get to pretend.
Aly, since you are apparently the most viewed journalist, I would imagine your inbox is busy. How do you manage it, and what's in there?
It's absolutely absurd. So I'm always working on like a half dozen different stories. So most of it is I'll put in my Substack newsletter what I'm working on. So a lot of my emails are responses.
People, yes.
Yeah. So it'll be like, responses, calls for pitches. And then there will also be, of course, cold pitches that have nothing to do with what I'm working on, invitations, people checking in, asking what I'm working on, stuff like that.
People checking in just like what you're working on, even though there's your Substack, which could inform them?
Yeah, which is not my favorite thing because...
I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly...
That's why you have it on here, on the thing, and everyone noticed, yeah.
Right. I put it there as a service. Honestly, it's something I do so that whenever anyone's like, yo, did this story go live? They could just go check. Or what are you working on? Or what outlets do you write for? I'm putting it all in front of them so they make their lives easier. Like, this is literally a gift.
Good. Okay. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay. So how do you then survive the inbox, Aly?
What I do is I prioritize things that are due immediately. So let's say I'm working on the National Caviar Day story. If I see a pitch for something related to caviar, I will look at that immediately because that's related to something I'm doing right now today. If something is related to something I'm working on due next week, I might prioritize that next. I do open up everything. I don't necessarily answer everything.
Okay. So just to be clear, you open everything.
Yes. I open up every single email and I save it.
Despite the subject line. Seriously?
Yeah. Because if you were to pitch me today, pink cowgirl boots, and I'm not working any boot stories right now, but I don't know, maybe in September, I'm going to get a gift guide, great gift ideas for the girl that wants to be like a cowgirl.
Yeah.
You never know. So I'll go back to my inbox and I will search boots, and your email from July 17th will pop up. And that way I always have it there if I need it.
But Aly, to clarify, you literally you open every email, you just open it up?
Yes, I open up every email. And if the email is 1,000,000 words long, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I read at least the first paragraph or two.
Okay. So then is it safe to say subject line isn't so much of a concern for you? You don't care?
Well, I think subject line matters as far as prioritizing, which is why I actually will be annoyed if a subject line is something completely non-explanatory, like, hey, or quick question, or got a second, or can I ask you a favor? Because that gives me zero guidance. I don't know if you're inviting me to something, pitching me something, answering a call for sources. I know absolutely nothing.
So, yeah, something like that. No, that's ambiguous. What do you love from publicists, Aly? How about that?
I love when they, as far as one talk subject line, something's very descriptive and, almost treating a subject line like SEO, like telling me so much that I need to know about what's on the inside in that first sentence. So it might be, for your frozen food story, DeFara now has a frozen pizza, which they actually do now, by the way. And and that way I'll know instantly what story it's for and why you're pitching me and what this is about, which helps me. So I like that. And within the body of the email, you could be my absolute best friend by putting like, the who, what, where, when, why of your pitch in the first paragraph, like almost the inverted news pyramid of a news story. Like,
Yes.
look at the same concept there. And that way, if I'm opening up your email and I do a quick, one paragraph read, I know everything I need to know in under 1 minute. And that is the best thing that you could do for me.
Perfect. Okay. I hope everyone heard that, the reverse pyramid, and that's what you should be doing. Okay. You alluded to it a little bit when you're saying those very like vague subject lines, but what else like bugs you, Aly, from publicists?
I hate when I publish a story and I'll share the link and then someone will email me after and be like, hey, can you add us in? No,
Jesus.
you cannot add cheese to your burger after you've already eaten it. It's digested. It's of the past.
Yep. Is already I've never heard someone give like such an on point analogy, but I love that. That's great.
And it happens there is a better way of doing it.
Yes, of course.
Yes. If I'm doing a roundup, National Tequila Day is coming up. If I'm doing a roundup of tequila cocktails and you missed the deadline and the story's already published, you can say, if you do another story like this, I'd love you to consider ...
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay,
So like the door is not closed, but the door is closed on that story.
Yes. Any other pet peeves you have?
People who ghost. I think that pitching and the whole
What?
pitching is a lot like dating. It really, really
Yeah, it
is.
is. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
very often someone will answer, what I'm working on, and I'll be looking for, I don't know, a mixologist or a sommelier to weigh in on a story. And I will send questions for them. I will tell them my deadline. And then I understand stuff comes up. But you could let me know. Just send me an email and say, mixologist Joe had a vodka emergency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. And I will then go to the next person on my list and email them. But people don't always do that. They will just disappear and never send responses. And you wonder if they died. That's not helpful.
And you wondered if they died. I will say this, Aly. There's someone I've been like following up with, not a media person, but somebody else. And I'm like, what the heck? And finally their bounce back came back and said like, hey, please ping this person or this I'm on medical leave. And I was like, okay, like,
well,
I don't know. At least I know. I'm also sad about that, but it's like, now at least I know what's going on. Cause yeah, getting ghosted is so bad.
Yeah, just like, tell someone there's always someone else you could use for your story, but not if you don't know and you don't want to waste anyone's time. I mean, I know the answer is to double dip and get two sources when you need one, but then someone's pissed at you for giving you input that you don't use.
Exactly. Okay. Okay, so we have ghosting. We have the very vague subject line, so you don't know how to prioritize. That's very annoying, Aly. Do you want to make relationships with publicists though? Like how do we look at that?
I 100% make relationships with publicists. This week, it's Thursday today. I've had dinner with publicists 3 nights this week already.
Holy cow. And you are in New York, just to be clear with people.
Yes, I'm in New York, and it's a special week because there's like a travel summit going on here this week. So there's a lot of publicists I know from out of town that happen to be in town this week. But I usually once or twice a week will do that. If I am out of town on a press trip and I know that someone who I've been emailing with is in town, I'll try to meet them for coffee or a cocktail. I can't always, sometimes schedule doesn't allow, but I try to, I love to. Some of my really close friends are people who 5 years ago or 10 years ago pitched me and we became good friends.
Look at that. So you like to go to the dinners. You like to go to drinks. You want to see the people, Aly.
I want to see the people. I hate the idea of this being a whole transactional situation
Yeah.
where like I have a story, you have a product, you have a pitch, I have an expert. Like, can we just be people who are being
Yeah.
people?
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this though. You're in New York. Maybe you're coming to a conference. Like, how do you want to get the, like, hey, Aly, do you want to go to a cocktail? Like, do you have a preferred way of how they ask you out?
I mean, basically, just like send me an email and just be like, hey, I'm in New York. Would you like to grab a martini?
Yeah.
I mean, it's casual.
Easy
It's the
enough.
same as if anyone, because, I feel like, we email back and forth all the time. There's some people I've been emailing for years and years. I consider them friends.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of putting a face to the name. And
Yeah.
it honestly makes it easier to work together if we know each other.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Because it's not faceless, and now you actually have the name. So when you see the thing come through your inbox, you're like visual, yeah, I'm totally about that. Okay. So Aly, for you are of course pitching stories. You're getting all the pitches to do stories from publicists, but you're also pitching your stories. Now you're long in the game, so you have your editor relationships and so forth. But like, give us a little insight into like how that works. Do you organize the inbox accordingly? Editors, I got a pitch, or publicists over here. Or is it all grab bag all the time? Whatever.
Oh, it's more like an abstract Banksy painting kind of situation.
Great.
Yeah, it's a mess. I mean, there's so many emails in my inbox. I know a lot of friends that keep folders and filters and color coding, and more power to them. Mine is all a hodgepodge, but somehow I make it work for me.
Okay. It does after all this time. Yes, absolutely.
Chaos is my answer.
Speaking of, okay. Now, often I do not ask this, but I'm going to incorporate this more and more. Are there tools? Are there tricks? Are there things that you're using, maybe in AI, that you're like, ooh, this is going real well? This is my new hack.
Against AI.
Oh, tell us more.
Yeah, I look at it almost like, when I go to the airport, and I usually, when I'm in JFK, I get Shake Shack for lunch before my flight. And Shake Shack
started. I know exactly where that location is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I used to, and then Shake Shack a couple of years ago started using kiosks instead of actual people to take your order. And I understand they were trying to do it to streamline it, but every time I go there, I'm like, this is a person that used to have a job and now they've been replaced by a computer. And that's what I see AI as. There's a lot of publications that are using less freelancers because they have machines replacing us. And this is not a good thing. And just like I know that there's shoddy people out there that are using AI to help them write their stories or help them write their pitches. And I don't like it. I think that, it sounds crazy, but I worry about the machines replacing us. And I feel like the only way to avoid that is to have as much original voice and art as possible.
Agreed. And it's meeting people in person and like seeing them and talking with them, etc., and having all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. If you make yourself into a machine, then you're no better than the machine. Like, prove you're a person.
Yeah. Yes. I wonder if that's kind of my take of, like, for you to see, like, is this really a PR person or what's going on? But okay, I met with them for a martini. So like, no, I know that person is real. Okay. Like, now I have
also, it's like, just feels good to like make a personal connection. And obviously I work with hundreds and hundreds of publicists, and I haven't met hundreds and hundreds of publicists.
Yes.
It's impossible. But if like, timing allows and like it's someone who I want to meet, absolutely.
Yeah. Got you. Okay. Let's go back to you then pitching the process, Aly, for you pitching, you getting the publicist idea, let's say, then you going to pitch the story. I imagine it's not necessarily that. You're like, no, this is what I'm cranking out. And like, if a publicist pitch fits in that, okay, great. That's like kind of done. Is it more that, or give us the inside scoop on how it works?
Both, honestly.
Both. Okay. Tell us about.
Yeah, so a lot of my assignments that I work on are like, new product releases or menu items, like if Popeyes has a new item or Burger King or Oreo cookies has a new flavor. And that will come from PR pitches, because obviously I don't know this new product is coming until you tell me it's coming.
Exactly.
But as far as like trend stories type things, that's more, I notice a trend, or I'm interested in writing a story, or I'm assigned a story, and then you pitch me something. I'm like, wait, this might possibly work. Tell me more.
Okay. So you're like, oh, okay. So that could kind of work. Okay. Okay. And then You say, tell me more. And then, so then does it escalate into now a better story, a bigger story you could do? Or what would you say?
It could possibly, or it could make me think of a different angle, or it
Yeah.
could be you tell me more and I realize, oh, actually it's not really a fit for this, but maybe it could be a fit for something else I'm thinking
Mm,
about. Like, as a freelancer, even if you're working on a million things, you're also always pitching editors because you're
yeah.
always worrying, well, what am I going to write about next week or next month?
Yes.
So you're always, writing and researching and pitching at the same time. Kind of the
Mm.
same as publicists. We're all basically the same thing.
Yeah. We're all pitching somebody.
Yeah,
Frankly.
we're all doing the other half of the same job.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So what about sources for you? How valuable or more like experts, Aly, in your
They
curriculum and
are. I
stuff?
mean,
Okay, tell us a few.
it depends on what I'm working on, but if I'm working on a culinary story, I'm almost always quoting a chef or a bartender or a mixologist or a sommelier.
Hmm.
And I'm working on culinary stories constantly. I'm interviewing chefs a couple of times a week. So I need a lot of those. But
Hmm.
then I write for outlets like apartment therapy that have nothing to do with food.
Yeah,
And so for them, I want to speak to an organization expert.
an organization. Oh, like to organize the house and things of that sort.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Okay.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I write a lot of like organization and
Yeah.
storage and cleaning
Yeah.
type stories for them.
Yeah.
So the type of experts you're going to be sourcing for is totally dependent on the type of stories you write. And sometimes there's a curveball. I did a
Oh, of
story
course.
on
Yeah.
plumbers over the summer. I've done stories where I spoke to flight attendants and pilots. It's kind of what
Wow.
keeps it interesting.
Yeah. As you said, like then you can learn. You're always learning and you're doing all the
Yeah.
things. Mm.
Yeah. I mean, part of what I love about being under the lifestyles umbrella is even though I focus on food and travel, I can write about beauty. I could write about like every aspect. So I'm never bored.
Yeah. Isn't that great to not be bored, Aly?
Yeah. I mean, I think if I was writing about lipstick all day, I love lipstick,
Me
but if I was
too.
writing about it all day, every day, it might be like working in a bakery.
Yes. Right. You're like, oh, another cookie.
Yeah. So because I could be writing about lipstick today, but luggage tomorrow, I'm never bored.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. This is good. Okay. You're never bored. I love it. Okay. Is there something of late that's really like piqued your interest where you're like, oh, dang.
I've been
You were
doing a
talking
lot.
about, you said the flight attendants and pilots. Like, was that something where you're like, oh,
Yeah, I actually really enjoy that because a lot of the travel type stories I do are more like culinary focused, like related to like dining while you travel or sourcing ingredients. But I've started to do more related to like travel hacks,
yeah.
like, making your trip more comfortable, saving time, making it a better experience, making it a more affordable experience. And I'm really into that. Like, I mean, I've always loved the idea of a bargain. And I love that kind of stuff. I love like shopping your pantry or getting the most for your buck type stories, whether we're talking about
Yeah.
groceries or travel. So I get really excited about that kind of stuff.
Okay. Sounds good. What about, we're going to wrap up here in a few minutes, but Substack, are you quite bullish on its legacy and its traction it's had? I just saw something on the We Have Data Instagram of just saying like, oh dang, it's past like the Wall Street Journal in terms of viewers a month or whatnot. Don't cite me on that, but I was like, oh dang. So I imagine you're bullish, but what would you say?
Substack has completely changed how I work. It is
Mm,
so much better. I mean, so for years and years, publicists would email me and they would ask me if I have any sort of distribution list that I share what I'm working on. Because there used to be a lot of journalists would just send out an email once a week or once a
yeah,
month saying these are my current stories.
yeah,
I never had anything like that.
yeah,
If I had a call for sources, I would just shoot and pray on like either Twitter or on Facebook. There were a couple of groups of like publicists and writers where you'd find things. And then I decided maybe I can do something that would be that for them, but also maybe something that would help me. And that's when I
hmm,
started my Substack. And I did it about 3 years ago, which I think that would make me kind of an early adopter. Because
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I wasn't the first by any means, but I was one of the
hmm,
first. And it's now I send it out almost every day. I have almost 10,000 subscribers, almost entirely publicists. I mean, there are definitely media and small business owners, but it's mostly publicists. And it's really
good.
changed
Isn't that cool?
everything. It really is because I get a lot of quick turnaround assignments. I can get an assignment on a Monday morning that it's assigned, I write it, and I submit it by the end of that day. And if I didn't have a quick and easy way to get responses, it would
Yeah.
be a lot harder for me to write those stories.
Yeah. I love that. Like, what a way to see, hey, what's the more collaborative way for me to get the sources I need, at the same time help publicists, and then exactly cull what I need. You almost did like your own haro, your personal haro.
It kind of really is. And it makes my life so much easier. And I have both free subscribers and then I have some paid subscribers too.
Yep.
And the paid subscribers have additional benefits. Like I do like Zoom workshops and AMA sessions where basically just ask me anything. And I try to give them value, but the free subscribers value also. And honestly, I love it. It's almost like I have a live journal if I want to date myself to like 1999.
That's great. Oh, I love the live journal. Aly, I'm going to wrap us up here, unless there was anything you want us to promote, tout, highlight, other than sign up for your Substack.
Just sign up for my Substack. I also share recipes and stuff on Instagram if you're interested. I mean, I'm a little bit of an amateur pretend cook, but
we love it.
Yeah, so if anyone
with caviar.
Yes, and if anyone cares about that, but otherwise just visit me on my Substack, please.
Aly Walansky, thank you for being here today. She's a Forbes contributor, freelance writer, everybody. She's been in the game 15 plus years. Get her Substack. Get her Substack. Then you know exactly what she wants to write about. Perfect. Especially if it has caviar. Throw that into. Aly, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.